I'm sitting with Wim Roels, CEO of Borouge in Singapore, and Borouge is subsidiary of Austrian Borealis and also part of the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. So Wim, we're just here, we just came out of the plastic recycling seminar, and normally when you come to Singapore, it's you think of that's one of the most advanced countries in the world for whatever it is, it's innovation here. But when it comes to sustainability and recycling, Singapore is still lagging a bit behind Europe, I would say. Can you explain it us a bit how this comes and where you see which way this is leading to?
Sure. Now, I mean, look, in one hand, Singapore is very advanced because they developed a completely integrated system. There is no landfill, there is no waste going out. It's all incinerated, and then the ashes being collected. So actually, it's a pretty advanced system, but it was developed before circular economy became to reality. And actually, because of the fact that the system is pretty sophisticated, it is also more complicated to change to a circular system. And in Europe, there has been much more effort earlier, years ago, to build a circular system to enable recycling. And today, I would say Europe is by far the leading region in the world when it comes to recycling. So there's a lot of things we can learn from there. And that's what now starts to develop also in Singapore and in Asia in general, where there is much more focus on recycling, and there are many studies going on to see how can we make recycling happening, how we can develop a recycling concept that fits in the Asian context as such. And that for us as a company as well is something we are looking at. We are working closely together with one of our parents, with Borealis. I mean, they have the experience. They are operating 2 recycling plants in Germany and Austria. They are developing technology both for mechanical recycling, for chemical recycling, and as a joint venture company under the Borealis umbrella, we are leveraging that knowledge. We are building on that experience. So we are looking at how we can enter recycling as a company, and we'll do that in different stages. And then the first step we will do is by building a number of partnerships with different recyclers through Asia, in Singapore, but also in Malaysia, in China. Because one of the big challenges we see in Asia is to collect the plastic waste. Maybe opposite to Europe, where in most countries you have a very well organized collection system, very often run by the government or by subparts of the government. In Singapore, the collection system is also well organized, but in most of Asia, it is not well organized, or is not existing. So many of these recycling companies today are using their own network of collecting plastic waste. So that's why we believe it's really important to connect with these people who know how to operate locally in this environment.
And wouldn't this be a chance for the government to step in and say, well, we need a centralized one that is coordinated, and then all can profit from it?
Sure, and in Singapore that exists, and the government plays a key role in that collection system. But that is not the case in some of the other Asian countries, where we see it's much more challenging. And we do hope that the governments actually do step up and become at least the organizing factor. May not necessarily have to do it themselves, they can subcontract it or do it in different ways, but at least start to drive it. Because solving the plastic waste problem in the ocean will not happen if you don't collect the waste first. And that's one of the biggest challenges for most of the plastic waste going into the oceans, comes from a limited number of countries, out of which most of them are in Asia. And it's not because people want to throw things away. It's not because people don't want to take care of the nature. There is no collection system. And that's one of the biggest gaps. We are also addressing together with Borealis. Borealis actually was the founding sponsor of a project called STOP in Indonesia, in Muncar, where we are trying to build up a collection system connected with recycling, which at the same time employs people or creates employment in one of the cities on Java Island, to demonstrate that you can make it work. And we really hope that we can develop that further, we can spread it also throughout Asia, Because once you collect, then you can recycle. And when you recycle, the demand is there. Many customers, many brand owners are looking for recycled material. So the demand is there. People want to see recycled material used. It's finding a way to get the loop closed. And that's what we are working on. Also in Borouge, hard in working on that whole chain, finding the right partners to make that work. And we are actually, we signed a few agreements in the last few months with different companies, also in Singapore. So we will announce very soon our first commercial transactions on recycled material. So that will bring us in the market as a complete supplier, both of virgin and recycled material. So we can support our customers in start developing these combined solutions, which really use virgin and recycled material in the best possible way and contributing to a more circular industry.
So I learned that the mindset has arrived not only among politicians but also in the population. Now the question is also, which is interesting of course for our Austrian companies, is there a lot of competition going on in Asia, or is there still enough room for, let's say, Austrian companies active in that field to start a business here?
It's a new world. There is a lot of initiative going on. There is quite a bit of private entrepreneurs driving this. I think the role that Austrian companies can play is to bring know-how and technology. Because today in Asia, the recycling industry is quite basic. It's not upcycling, it's kind of basically recycling, and very often the products are used in low-end applications. So the role we want to play as Borouge in cooperation with Borealis is to really drive upcycling, which means we can bring recycled products back into high-end products, in high-end applications like food packaging, cars, all kinds of different applications. And that's what we are focused on. That's where we believe the technology needs to be developed. It's not 100% there, but also there is so much things going on in Europe, so much technology being developed that I think that's where the real opportunity lies for Austrian companies to bring that know-how, to bring that experience, technology to make recycled products high quality products rather than low-end solutions.
And Southeast Asia for that is definitely one of the most interesting regions at the moment in the world.
It's a very interesting region. I would say Southeast Asia, the whole of Asia, extension. Why? Because maybe opposite to Europe, Asia has large cities with massive populations that generate quite a lot of waste. So you have high concentration of waste. In that respect, if we get the system right, we can collect a lot of waste. So you have a good feed for your recycling operations, and then also for the final products. So it's an area with a lot of opportunities. It's developing, so it's very fast changing and moving. But I think that's also what makes it attractive. I believe should be an attractive development opportunity for European and for Austrian companies.
Thank you very much, Wim, for this really very informative talk and for the insights. And good luck with Borouge operations in Singapore. Wish you good success and good luck.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
And hope that you play a good substantial role also in the sustainability process of Singapore.
We are committed to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.